Ladies and gentlemen, everyone around and in between, it is DebateSensei NFA-LD edition. After a small hiatus, we are here talking about the national tournament, the big tournament. This is the big one. I have with me the Dr. Justin Kirk from the University of Nebraska Lincoln and Chad Meadows, Director of Debate at Western Kentucky University. Thank you two for being here yet again.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Glad to be
Excellent.
back.
All right, this is the big one. I'm looking at the entry, and I'm seeing about 91 entries in this tournament. That's amazing.
It's a pretty good showing. There were a couple of folks I kind of was surprised got bids earlier in the year that didn't come to nationals this year. A couple of entries that I was expecting, but I think overall the kind of nationals represents the top 90 or so debaters in the country this year.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think it's a healthy little growth from last year, and hopefully we can continue like an upward trajectory and make that pandemic recovery.
Yeah.
This year, especially at nationals, there's a lot of young talent at nationals. So the first and second year classes are really big this year.
Really?
So I think that as we move forward in the next couple of years, you're going to see NFA grow quite a bit in the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Are these entry numbers similar to what they were before, or is it still below COVID levels?
Down from pre-COVID.
Really?
I remember pre-COVID, my first couple of NFAs, they were just over 100 or around 100 teams. It's not down, but it is a little bit.
Okay.
Right before COVID was the highest. I think it was the 2019 NFA, and that was 120.
Yep,
120.
And that might have been the biggest NFA-LD entry, and I want to say that was the one that was in California.
It was, and I think the reason it had big numbers
NFAs that they're in California tend to be.
Now we're breaking up a little bit, Chad, but yeah, you're talking about 120, and it was being held in California. Is what you were saying? Yeah.
Yeah, the ones in California tend to be a little bit bigger because there's a lot of teams in California that do have LD teams, but when the tournaments are far away, don't come to the Midwestern NFAs.
Right. Okay, so we have 91 entries, but I also know that there is so they have a novice bracket, but are they all put into the same pool, and that's just their records that are pulled out from that?
Right. It's a novice breakout.
Okay, but they only broke out 4. So does that mean that there were does that mean that there was like twice as many or 3 times as many novices that they broke out, or is it just based on records? I don't know.
No, so the bylaws specify how many novices clear based on the number of entries.
Okay.
And so typically there are 4 novice breakout entries. I think the stipulation is if there are fewer than 8, you clear the top 2. But if there are more than 8, you clear the top 4.
Okay.
And obviously that excludes anybody who, and I think there have been a couple in the past, novices who actually have a winning record at the end of prelims and clear to regular eliminations. Those debaters are usually excluded from the novice breakout because they're already participating in an elimination round.
All right, fair enough. This novice breakout was kind of unique. It looks to me like Central Michigan closed out the novice bracket. Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah, congratulations to Central Michigan. Joe Packer always has a bunch of really awesome novices. And Central Michigan, I think they've won the novice division 2 years in a row. So I think that's, a testament to the work that they're doing to bring debate to new students. And I think that's one of the most important tasks that NFA-LD can do, in the space that we occupy. It is a more challenging league than some of the leagues that don't require evidence, but maybe not quite as challenging as the 2-person policy events. And so to me, one of the most important things NFA can do is onboard new students who didn't debate in high school to evidence-based, rigorous policy debate and get the benefits of that kind of debate for students who otherwise would never have experienced it. And so I want to really shout out Central Michigan, Joe Packer, and also hosting the tournament as well. For their support of novice debate over the years.
Excellent. That's good. We also had San Joaquin Delta for Florida State rounding out. Since we had 4 of them, it's easy to kind of shout out everyone that was there. So that's still worth some recognition right there. All right. Now,
especially given that this is their first national tournament, and nationals is a very weird tournament. I don't think we really mentioned this very much. Is that unlike most debate tournaments, nationals is over 5 days. The schedule is extremely spread out. Debaters are kids who are used to kind of keeping the engine running. And one of the big things about nationals, and we may have talked about this in the prep pod, is there's a lot of downtime. You got to learn how to, as a debater, manage that 2 or 3 hours between debates instead of having back-to-back debates, or manage the I had 2 debates today and now I've got 24 hours before my next debate. And how do you spend that time working on that? And I think that, Central Michigan being successful in the novice division shows kind of not only is Joe really good at training students who aren't used to debate, but he's also a very good kind of coach about student psychology at national tournaments and stuff like that. They just seem locked in the whole time. Every time I saw debaters, I was just those kids are in to win it this weekend,
That's a good observation about the psychology of it and how that factors into coaching, how making sure that that's part of your pedagogy, that you understand how to convey that onto your students. That's very interesting.
I want to know his secret for convincing students to go to nationals, because all my novices noped right out of the 5
days. Oh man. Now you're talking about how there's a bunch of downtime. Are there some debaters that pick up some individual events? Are they doing it at the tournament?
There are. It's kind of decreased over time. I think that they've tried to do a much better job of scheduling so that it's not a big burden on students to do that. But I know that a lot of students prefer to focus on their best events at nationals. And so even the students, I think, who had a lot of qualifications and other events tend to either focus on debate or focus on the individual events. I think it's really hard to kind of split your focus across divisions. There are very few folks. I mean, I can think of 1 or 2 in my last 6 years that have been successful at doing that. One of Chat's debaters, Tess, is a great example of that. But it's just a really hard schedule to keep because you're there for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, my final year of competition, I made the mistake of qualifying 6 individual events, and I was just thinking I want to do everything. It was a burnout year for me, that was for sure. I don't think that was my best idea ever. So I did 6 events poorly rather than just a couple of them well.
Well, most of our students still do some speech events, none quite as successfully thus far as tests though.
Yeah.
But yeah, those prelims are rough. I would say the roughest combo is definitely if you do debate and extemp, because extemp tends to be one of the first things in the day, and then debate tends to be one of the last things of the day. So definitely some long days for those LD extempers out there.
Yeah, I always wondered why they always schedule extemp as the first event, but it seems so consistent.
I think it gives them a little bit more flexibility with the draw. When you're scheduling stuff, if things are 15 minutes late, the draw is that kind of flex time you can use to cushion the rest of the schedule.
Got it. Okay. All right, well, let's take a look into some of the performances in NFA-LD at this tournament here. I want to give a shout out to the two undefeated prelim records here, because I had each of them on the show. Zach Jones from North Texas and Ray Fournier from Western Kentucky. What a amazing performance for the top 2 seed right there. Like, yeah, I think that could have easily been predicted as well, though, right?
Yeah,
they both had really good years.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a testament to their preparation for this tournament, right? Prelims at this tournament, there's kind of 2 tournaments. Prelims is your prep, and then elims is a lot of like how you react to different situations, right? I think the debaters who go 6-0 in prelims, like Zach and Ray, or even the top like 10, the kids who went 5-1, are all people who spend a ton of time prepping for this tournament. And I think that shows. Elims is a lot more about adaptability, about like responding to the judge panel, responding to the situation. I think we'll get into that a little bit more as we go further. So
yeah. So I'm looking at the breaks overall. Each of your schools had amazing breaks. I think, I don't know, am I remembering this right? This is probably one of Nebraska's better showings here. Yeah, congratulations, good job.
We're very young though, so we took a bunch of dives and doubles and octos. First and second years are like to do, but we did have a lot of folks who did get out this year, and we were pretty pleased by that. So
this is amazing. Like, I'm trying to count them up, but I mean, you got more than 5, right? It's about 7.
Yeah, and I think did Washburn had 7 as well, didn't they, or 6?
I think they might have. I think they might have done even more.
Yeah, they might have had 8.
Yeah, I think they had 8. So that I'm looking at them, and that's amazing as well. But Wiki, y'all, how many did you get out? My goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, something like that. Man,
some reason I'm blanking, but it was either 5 or 6. We brought 7, so I know one person didn't break, so I think it was 6.
Okay,
might have been 5 though.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. But I think Washburn probably had the largest breakout.
Yeah,
and I also think Washburn had like you want to place your debaters in places where you're getting a lot of debates off. Washburn also like maximized their bracket advantage versus this season. When I saw the bracket come out, I was like, wow, all they've got to do is win a few debates, and they're going to like be in the best spot to win this tournament, because when you've got those 2 or 3 rounds off, you've got extra prep, you've got time to think about your debates. You've got more people that you can leverage for that instead of having all your debaters who cleared in debates. I think there was one round where they had 2 or 3 walkovers in the same round. It was just like, wow, they're going to have a lot of extra prep.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament to like how well those debaters have done this year and did at this tournament in particular. I mean, they had everybody that cleared for them, I think, was in like the top 20 or so. And that's pretty impressive as far as everybody on their team performed very well.
Some very good results from North Texas. They have probably about 4 or 5 breaks from the looks of it. Just going down the list, we have Missouri State, Texas State, Florida State, Truman State, boom. UNLV they had 1 break. Congratulations on that one. Yeah, I think that might be Central Michigan. Yeah, those are. That looks like I think I'm covered. I think I got everyone that, or at least on a
Did
college
level.
Yeah, I thought University Pacific might have had 1 too.
Yeah,
really. University of Pacific. Why am I not seeing them? Oh well. Okay. But congratulations. So you're breaking 32 out of the 90, so about a third of the field got out. That's not easy. I think, but still, we still had some 3-3s break with Speaks, right?
No, we actually had a clean break at 4-2s.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
We were 1 ballot away from having a partial triple octafinal round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were a couple of.
And no one wants that.
I'm sorry, Chad.
and no one wants that.
True.
All right. So the very first the very first elims, there was a few walkovers. That's unfortunate. To have that right at the beginning, like North Texas right out the gate has a walkover. Oh my goodness, 2 of them. Back-to-back walkovers? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I saw that too. And wasn't that Zach? Isn't that like the top seed gets back-to-back walkovers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking at that as a team and you're like, the number 1 seed doesn't have to debate until quarterfinals. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's really dangerous.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's also like a testament to like, one, you want to have a team that gets a lot of debaters out, right? That's one of the ways you advantage yourself at nationals is getting those walkovers early in elims or late in elims for that matter. But yeah, Zach definitely had a day and a half to prep for that debate.
Okay. Well, good for him. Lucky draw. There wasn't too many other walkovers. I think Washburn had one in Ox, but that's about it, right? Oh, but y'all had some a little bit later on. It just kind of worked out that way.
Mm-hmm. We had one in quarters.
All right. So, so who is getting through on from the double ox to the ox to the quarters? Like what, are they switching up on the affirmatives? Or we're not like, are we still seeing first use as the go-to AF?
I think this was a tournament where teams definitely switched up their affirmatives a little bit more, especially in the elims. I think maybe only 1 or 2 teams kind of kept up the no first use vibe. And something that I think that Washburn and Cade in particular did super well. And Cade's the person who ended up winning the tournament and was the top speaker. They would have an affirmative that was similar in theme to, the one that they have been reading a lot this season about, cruise missiles. But they would like create variations on it that would mess with what you were trying to do against the version they had read in the past debate. And so they were really, I think, effective at breaking new affirmatives that were comfortable literature bases for the AF, but with twists that were challenging for the neg to deal with in the moment.
Okay. Okay. Does that mean like the affirmatives had an edge? Did you do any sort of breakdown on the sides that were advancing?
I didn't really look at side breakdowns, but I definitely think there's a couple of different advantages at nationals for the affirmative. I mean, the first is like breaking new and having those kind of nuanced changes like Chad talked about are really important. But I also think that like nationals, you tend to have more mixed panels, right?
Okay.
Some panels of more experienced judges, some panels of less experienced judges, some hired, some speech judges. In those environments, speaking last is always kind of a marginal advantage. And I think honestly, like being AF at nationals and elims is pretty advantageous as well, even if you're not like seeing the results of that. A lot of teams, when facing an opponent with a neutral panel, would prefer to control the debate by going AF.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know like what the actual results break down, but it seemed like AFs were having a little bit more success, especially people who are breaking new.
Okay. That's when like the double elimination sometimes helps moderate that, but I know that this is just a single elimination setup.
Single elim, winner takes all.
Yeah. I mean, it's cutthroat. It's tough. Okay. So we get into, so we have a number of ox. It looks like Washburn is really converting from the double ox to ox. Holy moly, that is amazing. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 out of maybe there's 7 or 8, getting half of them in. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And we have, I think more than that. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. Yeah, more than half of there. My goodness.
And that's a third of an octafinal pool, right?
Yeah.
So like you're thinking about different advantages you can gain in elims, like having the 2 buys as a first seed, having 5 people in octos is another huge advantage for a
Oh
team.
man.
Because
Holy
either you're in a bunch of debates or you're getting walkovers and adding prep to your time, you know.
All right. But I mean, Nebraska's got a few,
Yep.
a couple in there. Western Kentucky's got a couple in there. North Texas still has 3, counting the walkover though. That is yeah, absolutely astounding. So at this point here, we have that first walkover. We have 2 walkovers in octafinals. We have Washburn and both of them are walking over their octafinals into that quarterfinal. So that's a big ass quarterfinal round right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
And a very tough quarterfinals too, I think.
Okay.
The level of competition this year for everybody.
The other thing is it didn't happen on the same day.
Oh,
or
right.
Did it happen the same day? No, it did happen on the same day. So it was a huge advantage to get a walkover in octos because it meant that you didn't, and it was like octos is at like 8 or 9, and then quarters is at like 4 p.m., right? So if you got that walkover in octos, you had all day to, like, first of all, you probably got a late morning.
Right.
So a lot of good sleep. So if you wanted to, tune things up the night before, great chance to do that. And then, a lot of time to prepare for that quarterfinal debate.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, if you've got a walkover in octos, you can go sit in that other octafinal round and watch and watch their debate. Like that's something I think that people don't talk about enough is like, if you've got a walkover, you can go scout your own debate for the next round.
Yeah. Like maybe going to Western Kentucky because Ray was in, debating Missouri. That might be a good one. Like he's on the other half of the bracket there. Yeah. All right. Well, holy moly. Okay. And so in quarters, Nebraska, my goodness, you had a walkover right there, getting into from quarters into finals. I mean, into sems. My apologies.
We had a couple of tough octos debates against some seniors from Truman. And we knew we had to win both of those debates, and we were in the same kind of bracket. So if we won those debates, we got a walkover into semis. And so everything we had, we put into those debates. And I think that both, I didn't see either of them, but I know that both were pretty close debates, especially the Alicia v. Zach debate. That's a debate that's always been pretty cleose. So.
Well, congratulations to that. That did put y'all against the top seed against Zach, and that's clearly an uphill battle.
Well, and this is a testament to how good of a debater Zach was this year. We spent all night practicing a new app that we had in the box for the entire tournament was geared towards breaking this new app in this round for this debater, and we still couldn't win. Right. And like that's how good Zach is like every element of our team went into like prepping that round. And Zach still just was like, nope, I'm a better debater and I'm gonna win this debate. And like it's like, yeah, he is in fact that good at debating.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I think it's a testament to how hard that team works, how talented he is as a debater. Their coaches like Holden and Louie and Colin and all that group. So
in the other semis, Ray is going against Washburn's top seed, at least at this tournament. And I wouldn't necessarily, at this point, nothing is technically an upset. Right. I mean, these are the top 3 debaters, in the tournament, but Washburn was able to pull that one out. And so that is probably, that one's probably the Washburn's big round where they're like, man, we really have to pull out all the stops on this one.
Well, and I think Chad can speak more to this, but I think this is one of those rounds that Chad was talking about where Cade changed something in the app that was like small that messed with the entire negative strategy in semifinals and kind of like made the debate a lot harder for Ray. But I could be wrong about that. Is that a correct assessment of what happened in that debate?
Yeah. That was what happened. It was basically like a derivative on the app that they had read earlier in the tournament. And the like small changes that they had made ended up being much larger changes ultimately.
Right.
And they did a super good job of deploying the AF, being really ready for I thought like a pretty challenging MC. So Cade was debating super well all weekend. I mean, it's a testament to the fact that they won the tournament and they were the top speaker at the tournament. So it was definitely Washburn and or Cade's I guess weekends, not putting it weak in terms of debating. They did an amazing job, and kudos, in that debate, in the finals debate, and everything.
Was
he
also the affirmative in the finals?
No, they were negative in the finals.
Oh, really?
You're also talking about like the upset component. Weren't the four semis the top four seeds?
They were the top four seeds, yeah.
They were. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah. They
so I think NFA did a particularly good job this year of sort of sorting the bracket, if it makes sense.
Wow. That's amazing. I didn't notice that until that is okay.
Excellent. I think one of the other interesting things about these last two rounds at nationals is kind of the contrast in styles between semis and finals. The semis debates were pretty quick speed wise, right? Like these were highly technical speed debates, but finals had a panel with multiple judges who prefer more kind of conversational / less kind of high speed rounds. So the finals round was actually a bit slower than you would normally see in like NFA-LD nationals. And so I think that like what was interesting about it is, one, it was far more kind of accessible for novices and JV debaters to come watch that debate, learn from that debate, see how things work out. But I also think it showed a different set of skills that Cade is particularly good at, which is adaptability. I think that like one of the things that like people kind of underestimate about Cade's debating style is Cade can debate any debate and can debate in front of any judge. And I think finals is really a testament to like their ability to in one round go fast and win a quick technical like high speed round, and then turn around in the next debate and have a kind of slower, more nuanced, theoretical, philosophical debate about like why we're here for the topic, and engage at a level that like much more kind of audience members can kind of follow along. And so I thought that was like really impressive for Cade to win the tournament, both on like a fast round and then a slow round immediately afterwards.
Is there, would you say that there is a difference in speed from prelims to elims? Because like if you have single judges in the round, are they typically more likely to be NFA-LD judges in prelims, and then you're more likely to get non-debate judges in elims?
It depends. It really depends on the judge pool. I think doubles and octos are the two rounds where you're most likely to get mixed panels, because you need so many judges for those rounds all at the same time. And I think that like it really depends on the judge pool, where you're getting judges from, who's available during what rounds, how big the hired pool, which was not very big this year. So you had a lot of like coaches or hired, team judges. I think it just happened to be how the finals panel shaked out, who volunteered, who was available, their preferences for what kind of debates they like to see.
All right. Well, Washburn takes it all. Not only do they win the final round, but they got sweepstakes for just debate sweepstakes, right?
Yep.
Overall, yeah.
First ever sweepstakes for Washburn. First ever championship, if I can recall.
Really, and top speaker.
They took everything this year. They had an amazing tournament.
That's
I think great. It is the first time that they've won sweepstakes, and maybe also the tournament too. And NFA, they've won Parley national championships under that, but I think this is the first LD national championship as well.
Okay. Well, it was a fantastic showing. I mean, I think, I'd even recognize that it was the top four are in semis. That is amazing in and of itself, because that doesn't always happen. I mean, if you try to bracket things, and if you get anything, if your bracket has like more than a combined score of 10, usually you've done it wrong. I mean, at least that's how I do it in March Madness, but this one kind of bucks that trend. Well, congratulations to both of you. All right, Nebraska, you had a fantastic showing. Western Kentucky, you're always solid, and this is no exception to that. But the big kudos goes out to Washburn. They've been solid all year long, and this was just their tournament.
Well, and there was rumblings. I heard from debaters of mine that they were particularly locked in the 2 weeks before nationals. I was just like, through the grapevine, I was hearing that Washburn was just grinding harder than everyone else, and I was like, okay, they're going to come ready to go. And you know, debaters talk to each other, they hear rumors, they follow each other on social media, and everything I was hearing out of the Washburn camp was like, they're in it to win it this year. They're coming with like all the ammo. And so every round, before rounds, when we had Washburn debaters, we were debating. That was our primary focus, was like, we need to win these debates. And we ended up not winning a lot of those debates. Like, man, y'all really took care of business. And by business, I mean us.
Yeah.
We really did clean up in doubles and octos and kind of take out all their main rivals for sweepstakes. And I think they had it locked up by quarters, if I remember correctly, when I was doing the math. So
yeah, they had
it locked up pretty early on at the tournament.
Oh, really? Yeah. Man, you know what? That's great though. Like, that shows that the determination, the preparation, the execution, all coming together at one time. Like, congratulations to Washburn. Yeah. All right. Well, we do have a few other things that we want to talk about, even though the Nationals is over. For instance, when do the topic, is it topic areas come out, or is it papers? For next year's topic.
So topic papers are out now.
So
anybody who's interested in reading them, they're on the Facebook community pages. They're pinned to the top. So and there's been some healthy discussion about all of them. There are 4 areas right now that are going to get voted on the May ballot. So if you're an NFA-LD coach out there, keep an eye out for the May ballot. It will have positions for NFA-LD rep, committee assignments, stuff like that, but also the topic vote. Artificial intelligence, agriculture, biotech, and firearm regulation.
Okay. Well, we will also have a discussion about those as well in the very near future. All right. So thank you very much for giving me some insight about NFA-LD. It sounds like it was a riveting tournament. Congratulations to Washburn, as well as to both of your teams.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right. We'll see you in the future.